on. So there's always, of course, there's always a new story about Tupac and Biggie. Who killed Tupac? Who killed Biggie? People have ruled out, you know, in their own head that the killer is your boy, Suge Knight. It's who everybody say it is. But the FBI agent alleges that Suge Knight ordered the 1997 killing of Notorious B.I.G. Okay, according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, this article by author R. Luther Lee at the AJC, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, he actually did this article about the FBI agent. So I actually already had seen the FBI agent or heard about it through Gary with the T or the Brat, one of them, on Ricky Smiley Morning Show. I had already heard about it through them, and I was interested. I'm like, so first of all, where did this man say this at? Okay, so of course there's a documentary. There's always a documentary about Tupac and Biggie. There will always be a documentary about Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston and Prince, like Aretha Franklin. It will continue on and on and on and on. So of course there's a documentary about the Notorious B.I.G. And the FBI agent that is in this, okay, let's read this. It says retired federal agent says death row music exec paid hitman as revenge for killing of Tupac Shakur. So they felt like Biggie, of course, and we all know this is not news to anybody, they felt like Biggie killed Tupac. They felt like Biggie set that whole thing up. So Suge felt like, I got something for his bitch ass. Since Tupac is dead, I got something for this nigga. Of course, come on. Suge was highly pissed off that Tupac died the way he died and that he was dead, period. If Suge didn't have something to do with Tupac's death as well, okay? Because Suge could have had, they say Suge had something to do with Tupac's death. That's what's been said in the past as well. So if he didn't have something to do with his death, then of course he was retaliating back. I just don't understand where's the evidence that Biggie, and I'm not trying to start no bullshit or nothing. I just want to know where's the evidence that Biggie or Diddy or any of them set this whole thing up to have Tupac killed, when there's been more sayings that Suge killed Tupac and Biggie than there are Biggie killed Tupac. Okay, it's not many people that I hear or that I've heard say Biggie killed Tupac as much as I've heard Suge kill both of them. You know what I mean?
How you doing, Suge?
Right.
Smoking your stove? I like that, man.
We ever been arrested for? I guarantee you, it's never been nothing for me but straight violence.
Ain't no, you ain't snitching.
I ain't never in my life told. You know, I'm the mother when people ask me if I know who killed Tupac, and not saying Tupac dead. A lot of said, hey, absolutely not. You'll have a 90 motherfucker walk down the street and said Suge Knight killed Tupac. Well, everybody know I ain't the killed Tupac. I'm the protected Tupac. But bitch ass Puffy can give him a star, and every rat in the world said he didn't want to kill Tupac or had him shot. Why you think nobody been arrested if they said they didn't want to kill Tupac?
Because they're snitching to the police, so they ain't gonna get arrested.
Not just a snitch, be smart, son. Because Tupac not dead. Tupac not dead. If he was dead, they'd be arresting those dudes for murder. You know he's somewhere smoking a Cuban cigar on the island somewhere. You know what I mean?
Suge Knight is in jail. As you know, he's in prison, serving a 28-year prison sentence for intentionally running over and killing a man in 2015 in that driveway of that restaurant in California. I believe it was California, where he ran into that man frontwards and backwards. He drove over him a few times, back and forth, and then stood up in court and drove off, actually went home, lived his life.
There is some new and disturbing video that will impact the murder case against media mogul Suge Knight. The video obtained by TMZ shows the January 29th incident where Knight's truck apparently runs over the two men. The truck backs up, hits one man. Seconds later, the truck comes back and runs over that man. We've had to, digitize the video because it's very violent. And then it also runs over another. And one of the men who were run over died. Knight says that for his part, he was trying to get away because he thought he was being ambushed and might actually be shot. Suge Knight is expected back in court at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time today, and CNN's Paul Verkaman is at the courthouse in Los Angeles. Here with me, legal analysts Joey Jackson and Danny Savellos. Paul, first to you, what are we expecting? Because we're hearing now that Suge may have actually dismissed his attorney and is thinking of representing himself. Is that accurate?
Well, things change fast here in Los Angeles, Ashley. And what happened is Knight has already appeared. Knight walked into the courtroom and he basically notified everybody that his new attorney is Matthew Fletcher from Long Beach. And then Matthew Fletcher came downstairs after this very, very quick proceeding, one in which a bail hearing was set for the 20th. or continued until then. And Fletcher got in front of this whole video issue. And Fletcher said repeatedly that this was a case where Suge Knight was lured to this hamburger stand and then was ambushed there. He said he thought by 3 men who were known gang members. Let's take a listen to what the new lawyer for Suge Knight had to say.
Suge Knight then puts his car in reverse, gentleman hit, then he takes the easiest way out. He's not required to back out and reverse down the street. These guys were, my understanding of, active gang members. There's clearly a gun was removed from one of them.
Again, the new attorney for Suge Knight trying to get out in front of all this, repeatedly stating that 100%. He says that this video shows that Suge Knight was ambushed, clearly laying a defense out where Suge Knight is articulating that these men had plotted and schemed to attack him at that burger stand outside the courtroom, though. Others, supporters of not of Suge Knight, saying, of course, that he is just a thug and this is part of his criminal activity.
And stood up in court as if he couldn't see him. I'm going blind in my eyes. I didn't do all this bullshit. When we seen the camera footage ourselves, he basically ran over that man twice and killed him because the man, I believe, died from some type of internal bleeding and internal injury that he had from being hit with this big ass fucking F-150 truck that Suge Knight big ass was driving in. It was really a sad scene. Phil Carson is the name of the former federal investigator. He identified the hitman as Amir Muhammad, okay, a Nation of Islam convert who got help from rogue officers inside the Los Angeles Police Department who allegedly helped cover up the crime that to this day remains unsolved. So rogue officers meaning officers who were in on the whole thing, crooked officers basically, just completely crooked ass, fucked up, blackmailing ass officers. The reason why I say blackmailing is because they still will lock your ass up for some shit that you do. But on the other hand, if you got some weed or something and they want to smoke a blunt, then they won't fuck with you. So crooked, backstabbing ass officers. They covered it up, and that's why the killing remains unsolved. So he claims that it was set up by Suge Knight for Amir Muhammad to go and take him out completely. And it's saying here that he actually did it over retaliation. You know, he wanted to get him back. He felt like, shit, you killed Tupac, I'm coming to kill your ass the same fucking way, shoot up this goddamn car. That's really fucked up. That's a really fucked up way of dying. Like, damn, he took all 4 9mm bullets that struck him from the black Chevy Impala that pulled alongside him. So he was in a GMC Suburban. The Chevy Impala pulled up next to him and just lit into the fucking car. Just lit into the fucking car. Just pop, 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 pop. But just 4 times. Pop, 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 pop. He knew he had got him. He popped him in the chest, popped him everywhere, like all in his stomach and shit. He really did try to fuck him up. He got paid a lot of money for that shit. That's real fucked up. But we don't know. This FBI agent was fired from his job. He claims that he tried over and over to tell his sergeant to look deeper into the situation, to take this turn and take this turn, look at this and look at that. This could have happened and this could have happened. And ultimately, he was let go from his position of being a detective or FBI agent of the force. So it's really fucked up. That's some crooked ass shit, FBI, for them to do that. Anyway, let's move on. Keefe D denied bond again in Tupac murder trial. Judge suspects illegitimate bail money. Reputed gang member Dwayne Keefe D Davis has been denied bond once again in the ongoing Tupac Shakur murder trial, with the judge suspecting that the bail money could be ill-gotten gains. Clark District Court Judge Carly Kearney rendered her decision yesterday, August 27, mentioning that the $750K that Cash Jones, aka WAC 100, offered to put up for Davis' bond could launch an investigation. So, $750K that WAC 100 is trying to pay to get him out, and the judge is saying absolutely not, because how WAC 100 got the money could prompt an investigation on them. I don't agree with that. I think that they want to find any reason to keep him in because he is
LAPD's main source and main witness. And so the only way he can get off of this is see, I begin to think some weird shit. Like, what if he get out and change his identity? Start putting on this whole mask, change up who he is, everything, living his life as a whole nother man. Go get some surgery on his face, facial surgery, everything. Oh, that'll fuck him up. That'll fuck him up. I can see WAC 100 helping him out in doing all that shit. But the crazy part is, imagine Diddy having the news coming through that Diddy has been indicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur, all because of what Keefe D is saying. They need to put this man on a lie detector test and make sure what he's saying is real and true. Because it'll be real sad if this is their only witness, their only reliable source saying that Diddy did it, and they have not enough proof, but they have some proof and what he's saying. Like, I think Diddy would get off. I absolutely think Diddy would get off. But I do think that an indictment is coming on the way, and it's going to be crazy as hell when we see it say P. Diddy has been indicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur. That's going to be real shocking. But I think this man, Keefe D, shouldn't have even been granted a bond. I think they were just trying to make sure that his rights, was being upheld, and that he was being treated fairly. And so they gave him a bond and did not expect for someone to come up with the percentage that is required to get him out, and that's $750K. And WAC 100 came with the $750K, and the judge said absolutely not. And I think it's just a way for the judge to keep him in. The LAPD need him. If he dies, if he run away, if he goes away in any way, if anything happens, then their whole case is shot. So they need him. They're relying on him. And the way they can rely on him for free, without paying him, without giving him any type of incentive to stay somewhere where they can stay in touch with him, is by being crooked, keeping him in prison and housing him there while they continue to put the pieces together so that they can properly indict Diddy. And it's so tightly sewed together that his lawyers can't slip through any type of openings. So they're just trying to keep him, hold on to him, treat him as best as they can in jail because they need him. But they don't want him to know that. They don't want him to know that, because then this a LA nigga. This a old LA nigga. This a old LA gangsta ass nigga. They know that if he gets an inkling or find out that they need him more than what they are portraying, then he's going to start asking for the incentive straight up. And they don't want to have to provide an incentive. So right now they getting by doing this shit for free, housing him right there in that prison because they need him. They need him. He's the only one that's able to give a reliable testimony against Diddy if they indicted him on murder charges or conspiracy murder charges, conspiracy to murder on Tupac. That shit gonna be crazy. Statute of limitation, I don't know if there's even a statute of limitation in Los Angeles. I don't know if there's a statute of limitation in Los Angeles for murder. I'm not sure. But regardless, even if he doesn't go to jail, and even if he's not charged federally for this crime criminally, then he's definitely gonna have a civil charge on him. Like somebody from Tupac's family is gonna sue the fuck out of him. Okay, all because of the implication. Even if he's found not guilty, just like they did OJ, the implication was enough. So they were able to use everything that they used in OJ's murder trial for the civil trial, and he was found guilty of murder in the civil trial. Anyway, am I correct? Huh? I'm correct about that. Never mind, you wasn't listening to me. Good. I need what you making? You finna make that chicken? No, I'm finna make me some chicken strips with some jerk seasoning on it so I can eat this rice and peas and you can eat your food. How you gonna make one food? I'm gonna make it the same way I did. I was just trying to get started on mine because mine taking a little. Right, yours take longer. I'm glad you know that. Thank you. Thank y'all. I don't want these. Okay. Okay. Speaking of Los Angeles, LA, producers, Diddy, LA Reid, and Diddy, both of them got sexual assault cases pending, and they both just filed for the cases to be dismissed. Now, for Diddy's case, there's been no response as of yet, as I speak today. But LA Reid motioned to dismiss his sexual assault case by a woman or a male named Drew was dismissed in New York. And that's the thing. A lot of these producers, a lot of these big people, Donald Trump, a lot of these people thought back in the day they could do all this stuff, and now it's coming back to bite them in the ass. And the state of New York is a Democratic state, so they have a lot of Democratic judges, and so these judges, they make an example out of these rich people up here in New York City. So when they're charged, just like Bill Cosby, when they are charged, they don't take it easy on rich people, on famous people. They do not take it easy in New York, but they do take it a little easy on, I feel like, criminals and shit up here. I don't know why. Oh, excuse me. Yes. Famotidine is the shit. Okay. I be having heartburn and shit. Famotidine be just killing it, helping this burp come up. And see, that's the thing. I keep fucking up every time I'm supposed to remember. Open this shit up, Justin. Open this shit up. Open this shit up. Yeah, this is what I was supposed to be opening up. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay. Yeah, August 13th. It was denied. Drew Dixon is the person's name. And it was denied. Yeah, it was denied. Don't know what he thought. They damn show didn't let that go on his ass. And like I said, Diddy as well, he filed to have his dismissed. But I don't think that there has been a response. But Diddy sexually assaulted this boy Lil Rod right here, and the boys filed a lawsuit on him, Rodney Lil Rod Jones. Why would Diddy want to sexually harass him? I don't know, but it was cute. You could have give me some money. Anyway, yeah. So they thought that they would get away with it, but New York City judges are not playing with they ass. Okay. Yeah, speaking of all this court stuff, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, they didn't dismiss Diddy shit. Okay. Okay. I already said that Diddy was going to have a subpoena coming down. You wait and you see, because they said that, Keefe D blamed him for, the murder of Tupac. He paid me $1 million, blah, 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 blah. The feds just got to make sure that they got their ducks in order before they put out and go arrest him for some shit that they don't have valuable proof of. They need proof that they can lay out, like the glove on OJ's hand that wouldn't fucking fit. They need something. And it's been so many years. Only thing they could do is, what's the word? Exhume Tupac's body, possibly, or try to take what photos the autopsy person did in the 90s, possibly, but I highly doubt that that's going to be possible. They may have to pull his body up and check it out in order to convict Diddy fully. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not. Maybe not. But now at this point, Diddy's cameras have been subpoenaed. His Ring doorbell cameras, all of his surveillance cameras, and I think all the way back to 2008 or something like that, they have subpoenaed his cameras. How can they do that? I don't fucking know. Let me actually, you know what? Let me go to the motherfucking story so I can make sure that I'm reading this the right way, because I don't want to be saying the wrong shit. Oh, right here. It says 3 days ago, a new subpoena issued for all surveillance footage of Diddy and his associates' stay at Miami Hotel from 2008 to the present. So from 2008 to now, they have subpoenaed all camera surveillance footage. And the subpoena also mentions Daphne Joy, whoever the fuck that is. I'm not sure who Daphne Joy is, but damn, they about to fuck Diddy up in the ass really bad. Okay, he think he done rough handled some assholes. His asshole is about to be fucked up without being physically touched. He gonna be clutching his asshole real bad. You see my mouth? Where I am? That's how he gonna be. He gonna be clutching his shit up, cause he finna be scared than the motherfucker. Diddy, I think Diddy always thought he could get away with shit. When he got away with shooting that lady in the face and completely got off of it, allegedly, okay. Although the lady has come out again this year and said she knows for sure that was Diddy. Not only that, the guy got out of prison and has not denounced her. And from my understanding, they said that the guy, I forget his name, he's now like Muslim or something like that. He lives in another country, into politics and stuff. Shine. They say that, if I'm not mistaken, he's spoken about this. He said that Diddy was the one that did it and not him. So whatever kind of power Diddy had, he no longer has. Okay? It's gonna be real fucked up when we see it though. I'm telling y'all. Sean P. Diddy Combs indicted for the murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996. That shit is gonna be like, what? People who the news gonna be new to gonna be gagging. Okay, like people who don't watch this shit and pay attention to the news and all that shit, they gonna be fucking gagging. They gonna be gagging. They literally gonna be gagging. Seriously. Not gonna believe it. Yeah. Motherfucker is definitely going to jail. I think. Maybe not. You know, knowing Diddy, his ass to get off. Yeah, I don't know. His ass to get off. Okay, anyway. Let me see, what do I want to talk about? Okay. Let's talk about this. The political talk, okay? Kamala Harris and her southern drawl. I already talked about that too. My shit don't get fucking watched. My shit don't get watched ever. So, you know, I say things and you can go back on my video. I just posted it a couple days ago, a couple weeks ago, whenever it was. It says Kamala Harris something. Just look at my videos. Kamala Harris. And listen to what I said. It's like a 28-minute, 30-minute video. She done went there. She said, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm going now. Oh, excuse me. I done burp. Don Richard of Danity Kane accuses Diddy of sexually assaulting her in new lawsuit. Says she witnessed Kim Porter and Cassie being abused, and that Diddy allegedly threatened to kill her when she told Cassie to leave. All right. I don't know because from my understanding, she just said something like, I just seen a clip of her saying something like, you know, nothing ever. Hold on, Don. Richard. Nothing ever happened to me. If I'm not mistaken, she said, she said here that nothing. Okay, yeah, right here. What? Stating how they all allegedly witnessed the abuse Cassie by Diddy. Don Richard has named Jimmy Levine, CEO of Interscope, Usher, and Neo in her lawsuit, stating how they all allegedly witnessed the abuse of Cassie by Diddy in 2009. Damn, they all witnessed it. Dawn stated she was fearful of Diddy by what she witnessed and that someday it could happen to her. Wow. That's what she says. So she says. But they trying to get Dawn right together on Twitter for something that she said back in 2017. She said this here.
You went independent. Do you talk to Diddy?
Not as often as I'd like, but that's the homie forever.
Yeah.
People will never understand that relationship. You know,
That's
like
what she said.
people didn't know that Puff had bought me out of a contract
Wow.
prior to even getting on the show.
Really?
So I had loyalty to that, you know, and that's a respect that I understand that I loved my group, and I know that it wasn't I chose Puff over my group at the time. It was more of when someone does that, where I come from, you got to respect that on a large level. So I gave loyalty to him, and I think I'll never forget that. And my father and my mother, for what we gone through, we'll never forget that. And I think with all his crazy, I look at things like that as loyalty. So I was loyal to him, and I paid my dues back like a businesswoman should.
Right.
Until he said, okay, your dues are paid, and then I left. Not, I'm gonna leave you after you did me something,
And then just
a solid, and they say, oh, by the way, thank you for buying out my contract, but now I'm gonna go over here. I just never said anything
Wow, I didn't know
about that.
about that contract,
and I
though.
never told anybody. I took all the hate that came with it, that people thought I had didn't choose my group. I just
Didn't
took
know
it.
that.
Because it's a loyalty thing for me. It's a respect art.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pay my dues, so I did, and I always respect. Puff is smart. He does it exactly what I did, and I always respect for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. What's the best advice he's ever given you?
sleeps. He has, and he's blessed with an ear. That's two very powerful things, right? And so, and that's it. You know, it wasn't all perfect. It wasn't all great. He's exactly what people say he is, but he's also, he gave me a shot. I don't have the story that you have. I have okay, I got out alive.
Yeah.
And I got out with a business. And I don't have no bad stories. That was only support. So if you do good by other people, they'll do good by you.
I agree.
And so that's what I tried to do. I didn't do it perfectly. It probably was imperfect, and it probably looked crazy in business. And I don't have no bad stories. There was no business. And I don't have no bad stories. There was no business. And I don't have no bad stories. There was only support. So
you got no bad stories. There was
if you do good by other people, they'll do good by you.
I agree.
And so that's what I tried to do. I didn't do it perfectly. It probably was imperfect, and it probably looked crazy, and I probably made mistakes, and I totally did make mistakes along the way. But I did the best that I could.
But you owned up to it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I've never got the vibe that you were scared.
Diddy attorney released a statement denying the sexual assault allegations by Don Richard, claiming this is a serious false. Claiming this is a series of false claims, all in the hopes of trying to get a payday. This is the same thing the attorney put out about the gay boy who filed a lawsuit, who actually just won his lawsuit $100 million because Diddy didn't show up to court. So because Diddy didn't show up to court, he won by default his whole amount, everything that he asked for. He sued Diddy for $100 million. Diddy tried to settle with him for $2.3 million, but he refused. So he just got $100 million, but I doubt that he sees a dime of it. Maybe somebody said that in the comments. I don't know. But I feel like I agree with Diddy's attorney. She see that this boy got $100 million. She see everybody lawsuits going out. She said, let me go on and put mine out before everybody else come. Because more is probably coming. I wouldn't be surprised. More lawsuits are coming. But Diddy's son, Justin, put this out. He responded to it. He said, thoughts from Diddy lawyer. And he put the link to what his father's lawyer said. I guess I don't know what that is about. I don't know why he decided to do that, but he put what the lawyer said.
On Rashard, who Diddy discovered in making the band, put her in Danity Kane, where she eventually left to join Diddy Dirty Money. And in 2020, when Diddy announced the reboot of Making the Band, she hopped on board and wanted to join. As you can see from this message in March 2020, she says, love, love, love you, let's do this. And yet another where she says, checking in to see if you guys are starting Making the Band back up, would love to be a part of it, bro. Yet another in December where she's saying, let's bring the crew back. Another message where she says we never should have stopped it. That's what he did in 2023 on his most recent album called Off the Grid. She's a featured artist on the #3 song on the album. And all of this makes sense if you watch her other statements about Diddy over the years, including this one clip from Hot 97 back in the day.
And I don't have no bad story. That was only support. So if you do good by other people, they'll do good by you.
Now pause for Combs' civil attorney's statement that she made today, which states that Rashard has now manufactured a series of false claims, all in the hopes of trying.
You hear that? Do you hear that? It is. Okay. So I didn't even pay attention to what this girl said. But basically she's saying what the fuck I'm saying, and I didn't even know that. I downloaded it thinking she was just reading the lawsuit out word for word, but instead she's saying basically this just looks like a money grab because you kept asking him, is Making the Band starting back up, and you know you should get the crew back, and he basically put you on his new album and everything. And you just said you have no bad story. So what does this look like, Don? It looks like you're just trying to grab some money because everybody else got some money. I don't know, Don. It's giving a money grab, Don. It's given that this is a money grab. And that is so unfortunate because Don's name has been clear for a very long time.
More would see it that way.
Yeah, I
you know,
mean-
yeah. But
clear.
bad stories. There was no, I don't have no bad stories. There was no, got out with a business. And I don't have no bad stories. There was
I don't
no,
have no
that
bad
was,
stories, okay?
Part who Diddy discovered in making the band, put her in Danity Kane, where she eventually left to join Diddy Dirty Money. And in 2020, when Diddy announced the reboot of Making the Band, she hopped on board and wanted to join. As you can see from this message in March 2020, she says, love, love, love you, let's do this. And yet another where she says, checking in to see if you guys are starting Making the Band back up, would love to be a part of it, bro. Yet another in December where she's saying, let's bring the crew back. Another message where she says we never should have stopped it. That's what he did in 2023 on his most recent album called Off the Grid. She's a featured artist on the number 3 song on the album. And all this makes sense if you watch her other statements about Diddy over the years, including this one clip from Hot 97 back in the day.
and I don't have no bad stories. There was no, that was only support. So if you do good by other people, they'll do good by you.
Now pause for
First of
Combs'
all-
civil attorney's statement that she made today.
First of all, somebody
Another
message
where
because
she says
these
we
are
never
Diddy's side of the
starting
text
Making the Band
messages.
back up, would love to be a part
The
of it, bro.
gray-
Yet another in December.
The
See from
gray
this message
is
in March.
Dawn messages.
Of Making the Band. She hopped
The
on
blue
board and wanted
is
to
Diddy
join.
messages.
As you can see from this message in March 2020, she says, love, love, love you, let's do this. And yet another where she says, checking in to see if you guys are starting Making the Band back up, would love to be a part of it, bro. Yet another in December where she's
So
saying,
Diddy
let's
done
bring the
released
crew
the
back.
text, bitch.
Another message where she says we never should have stopped it. That's what he did in 2023 on his most recent album called Off the Grid. She's a featured artist on the number 3 song on the album. And all this makes sense if you watch
It's
her
giving
other
Justin
statements about
feeling
Diddy
away
over the
about
years,
Dawn,
including this one clip from
saying
Hot
something.
97
He like,
back in the
bitch,
day.
first of all,
And
I
I
done
don't
fucked
have no
your
bad
pussy
stories.
out,
There
first
was
of all, so you
no,
don't talk
that was
shit,
only
'cause
support.
I'm
So
finna go in on your ass over.
if you do good by
That's
other
what it
people,
did.
they'll do good by you.
I don't know.
Now pause for Combs' civil attorney's statement that she made today, which states that Rashard has now manufactured a series of false claims, all in the hopes of trying
Try to get a buddy grab. Exactly. Anyway, this man is about to get paid if Diddy don't win the appeal to get this thrown the fuck off. If you don't win the appeal to get this thrown off, bitch, it's over with for Diddy. It's real over with for Diddy, unfortunately. If he don't get this shit off, it's over with for Diddy. Let me remove this. Okay, so anyway, my next note. Oh, let me see what else. Right, she said she witnessed. Okay, killed on Diddy saw in response. Okay. Anyway, Diddy's sexual lawsuit. Okay. Lil Rod, Diddy's attorney files emergency motion to set aside $100 million default judgment in sexual assault case involving a Michigan inmate. Claims he never received a copy of the lawsuit. So Diddy is saying he never received anything saying that he was being sued or anything like that. So, you know, as I reported yesterday, this guy right here, he's in prison currently. He sued Diddy for sexual harassment or sexual assault, and he won because Diddy never showed up for court. So he won by default, and he won $100 million. Diddy's attorney is filing to have that put on pause so that Diddy can handle it properly. But he's saying basically it's a money grab, like he's saying with everybody. It's a 1997 sexual assault situation where the guy says he was drugged. The lawyer said this man is a convicted felon. His resume now includes scamming the court straight up from prison. So if he did scam the court, this nigga just scammed the court big time. This is the biggest lick he ever hit. Damn, Diddy reportedly loses $100 million sexual assault lawsuit after not showing up to court. Man alleges Diddy tried to threaten him to drop it. You know how we get down, supposedly Diddy told him. So yeah, Diddy is yeah, I went back to the story by mistake. Yes, Diddy is 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so Diddy is dealing with that currently. Unfortunately, he's dealing with that. And the other thing that Diddy is dealing with, not just that guy, but don't forget about Lil Rod, who filed his lawsuit first. So this guy filed a lawsuit from prison, but Lil Rod right here with the bucket hat on, next to Cuba Gooding, is suing Diddy and Cuba Gooding, but he's saying that Cuba Gooding is intentionally evading attempts to be served for the $30 million sexual assault lawsuit. So yeah, he wants his money as well. Everybody like, you know what, Diddy paying up, shit, fuck that. Don done went and filed, everybody done went and filed. They like, fuck that. If Diddy paying up, bitch, let me go on and get my damn money then. Shit, let me go on and get my money. Speaking of lawsuits, sexual harassment, yeah, but this is a shame that everybody is, first of all, that's what I wanted to say. It's a shame that everybody is going through this, that these men are dealing with sexual harassment, even and down to the fact that it's men suing some of these men, and they can't even, you know, support the gay community openly, when in fact they are like that, but they push it back to the back. Like Usher, he had a guy sue him saying he caught herpes from him. Diddy, Cuba Gooding, as you can see, R. Kelly. These men are men that women love, and they've never come out to say anything other than women, women, women. It's all I like. So I don't know. It's crazy that it comes out this way. They don't speak about it, and it's watched over. Even Dwight Howard, hell, even his ass. I don't think he's ever fully come out to say he is bisexual or gay. I don't think so. But Dwight Howard, but he's had plenty of run-in with, you know, the gay community in a good way and bad way. Eddie Murphy as well, and Arsenio Hall too. All these niggas gay. Anyway, moving on to the next story, which I almost moved too fast and went to. Sabrina Peterson. T.I. and Tiny says Sabrina Peterson is evading paying them their $96K in restitution after she sued them and it was unsuccessful. So they countersued her for, I guess, the lawyer fees and stuff that they had to pay to deal with her ass. If you remember, Sabrina Peterson tried to say that T.I. coerced her or forced her into having sex with him and Tiny and some other things, I think she said too. But she was so adamant about it. She was doing interviews. She was going live. She was really trying to shut T.I. and Tiny all the way down, when in fact they were saying she was mad about some business shit. Come to find out, she takes them to court trying to prove a point and loses the case, and they end up winning their counter. Ain't it so crazy, Jay? Okay, yeah, my hair is coming down. Jay was trying to hide the fact that, I see what you're talking about, Jay. You was trying to hide the fact that my hair is coming down, that she was taking my hair down. So basically it's hair all in the damn undone hair under my favorite hat and under my outfit. Anyway, you need to sit right here when I'm on live. Ooh. Them folks don't want to hear that shit. Right? Ain't that right? Them folks don't want to hear that shit, Jay. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Rico Bellucci. This is another episode of... Why can't I hear myself? Hello. 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 Oh, okay, I guess I can. This is another episode of Rico Live right here on the Urban Binge YouTube channel. And make sure you guys go follow us everywhere. Like I always say, gotta make sure I tell you guys, follow us at the Urban Binge on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever the fuck the nigga want to call it. Yeah, so follow us. Thank you guys. Facebook, THEE, right? THEE on Facebook. Anyway, yeah. So we're here because Sean Diddy Combs was recently indicted, right?
And thrown in jail.
I actually, you know what? I feel good because I've been saying this for a long time, right? Have I not been saying this for a long time? Then you gather up some clips where I've said this, huh? If they can hear you, Diddy has been reportedly taken into federal custody in New York after grand jury indictment. So allegedly, he had a plan to be arrested, go in, you know, the way Donald Trump. I guess they was like, nigga, you not Donald Trump. We finna show your ass. You ain't running shit because you think you running some shit. And especially when it's shit like this, when it's like victims and shit involved and you've been playing this tough game where you're running shit, you're coercing people and shit like that. They really want to show you then. You know, they really want to show you ain't running shit. So, of course, they didn't follow up with their plan to allow Diddy to, you know, turn himself in, come in, you know, with some dignity. Instead, they went and pulled up on him last night while he was at the hotel and arrested him, Homeland Security. So it's no telling. The attorney, the DA, I'm going to play it in a minute. He clearly said, you know, he's not going to discuss the way the operation went because someone was wondering, well, how the hell, why did you guys pull up on him like that? Basically, you know, like it was supposed to be more civilized than that, but he wouldn't say why. Probably because they just wanted to show Diddy he wasn't running shit. Wouldn't be surprised. Or Diddy didn't turn himself in at a time that he was supposed to. Not surprised if that is the case either, because that's just Diddy. Anyway, I think Diddy turned a lot of people off with making the band. When he did Making the Band, I think it was like a big turn off. It made people feel like he was what people think of him today. You know, bossy, rude, careless about people's feelings, and you know, like just loose with his tongue, in a way, a bully the same way Suge Knight is, but more sophisticated bully, if you will. I never thought Diddy was far from Suge. I thought that he was just on the other side of the coin. Like, it's a bad coin either way it go. Like, they're trying, like the Pope said about Kamala and Donald, that we have two evil candidates, but America has to choose between the lesser of the two evils. So I feel like Sean Diddy Combs, Suge Knight, they're both on the same level of evil, dangerous. I just think that Diddy is the lesser, if you will, you know. So it was all gonna catch up to Diddy one day. All the shit he done did, all the mean shit, making people walk to the Cheesecake Factory, leave their ass. Yes, it was for entertainment, but they was pissed. They were pissed, right? We recently watched a marathon of Making the Band from season 1 to the final season. Coughing like that remind me of Funky telling Tammy they ain't want you giving them folks emphysema. Kissing them basketball players in the mouth. Damn. Anyway, so speaking before Diddy was arrested, he decided to do things like this. He was around New York City speaking to fans. He went to Washington Park. He went to Central Park. He was just walking around New York City. I guess like this is my last time to see freedom, because he probably knew they wasn't giving him a bond. He probably knew how serious the everything was. From what the documents say, it's just a 14-page indictment, which just is the word to use. It's not an exaggerated word, because indictments can be hundreds of pages, okay? Especially when it's got sex trafficking, you know, racketeering and all of that involved. The I've heard of indictments being like hundreds of pages. So his being just 14 pages is I don't know. It makes me. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys my opinion. It just feels like Diddy is probably not gonna. All of these charges aren't gonna stick. It doesn't feel like all of these charges are going to stick, if any. Okay, that's just what it feels like. I don't think money is involved with him. If they did not stick, I think that it just feels like somebody's mad, somebody's angry, and somebody is trying to, not to say he didn't do these things. It just feels like there is some vindictiveness behind it. You know, like some, I don't know if that's a word, vindictiveness, but it feels like there's some get back involved in it. I don't know. Of course, Diddy will receive karma, and everybody will, you know, have their time for karma to come back and bite them in the ass. And this could be that karma, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it feels like a machine or a train is behind this. It doesn't feel like this is natural. You know, Bill Cosby shit, maybe I'm wrong, maybe other people felt this way, but it didn't feel like a train or machine was behind it the way they were saying NBC is trying to shut him down and blah, blah, blah. It didn't, for me, it didn't feel that way. You know, it didn't feel that way. It was like, maybe this is true. Maybe they are. But it didn't feel like, you know, that naturally for me. But for this Diddy case, it feels like there is like this anger or this madness and this like the whole forwardness is all with like a bullhead. Like I can't explain. It just doesn't feel like it's natural or fully genuine. It just feels like somebody is trying to serve karma themselves. Not like this is natural karma. It feels like someone is trying to serve up some karma instead of it being natural karma. What's wrong? Oh. Anyway, yeah. So Diddy was out in the streets, out and about, trying to, you know, see all his fans. I guess I don't know what that was about. Him feeling like, oh, they can tell it's my middle finger. Whoa, that's weird. So yeah, this is Diddy. This is Diddy yesterday. Yeah, so he's talking to all of his fans. It looks like King Combs is there with him and whoever else is there with him. But yeah, he just actually just went out there. I don't know what that was about. I spoke previously about this, the guy that won the $100 million. I'm going to play all of my commentary about Diddy, at least what I could gather about Diddy. I'm going to play that at the end of this video, so don't close it out when I end here. I'm going to actually play all of my commentary that I've spoken about Diddy, if anybody cares, at the end of this. Because I've been saying this for a long time that Diddy, an indictment is going to come down. Now, I thought that the indictment was going to be about Tupac's murder, but I don't feel like he's clear of that yet. But I don't think that Keefe D is, first of all, fully credible to them. And I also think that they're having a hard time finding evidence to make Keefe D's testimony stick. Like they need more evidence, and I wouldn't be surprised, like I've said before, if they pull Tupac's body up. I wouldn't be surprised if they have to go back and like, it's hard. I watch detective shows and crime shows all the time, documentaries, and when they have to do these old crimes, it's much harder. It's much harder, but in a way, the new technology helps push it along because it's so much new technology. But the hard part is when that shit is gone, it's gone. When the blood is washed up out of the street, ain't no way of getting that back. Ain't no AI can bring that back or nothing. When that car has been fixed and the bullet holes and everything are sealed, and they can't even analyze the car anymore. Like AI can't bring that back in real time. Like place this car here back with the same holes in it, blood and all. No, it can't happen. So it's real fucked up when they have to go back. But this guy got $100 million. Diddy says he didn't receive the lawsuit. He was never served. He doesn't want to pay it. And this was like a couple days before he got arrested. And then you got Lil Rod also suing him as well. Him and Cuba Gooding, which I don't have that photo here, but he's also, so Diddy got some freaky deaky ass ways. Really, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. USA, Damian Williams. Hold on.
I cannot wait for this AI shit come out so that way my apps can update and they can use this shit and I can.
Oh, it's the AI system coming on the iPad?
Yeah, it's coming for all silicon devices.
I'm about to say, not for this, right?
Yeah, but for your computer.
Okay. Y'all don't want to hear that. Earlier this evening, federal agents arrested Sean Combs based on a sealed indictment filed by the SDNY. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we'll have more to say at that time. Jesus Christ. So they didn't let us know until early in the morning what the charges were. Charlemagne the God believes other people will be involved in Diddy's indictment. If you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail. That's true. The prosecutor did say that there are more people that possibly will be. He said we're not done or something along those lines. We're not done yet. So, you know.
So, you know, it's been reports that Cassie has been cooperating with the federal case. And all of this is over a matter of 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, racketeering and sex trafficking. If he gets racketeering and sex trafficking for freak-offs, it will be others involved.
Yes.
Like if you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that, you know, that's possibly on those cameras because he had cameras in the crib. So people are thinking that maybe there'll be other people involved.
If you ever been butt naked anywhere with Diddy or half butt naked with Diddy and there was some women around or some men around that he told you were part of the party, you're probably going to jail.
Charlemagne, I hope you ain't sitting here saying this and you was a part of. I'm just talking shit. Yeah, so the prosecutor did say something along those lines that there are other people that he's looking at and shit like that. They say also Diddy was found with the pink powder, the new drug. There's plenty of documentaries. Just go look it up. The pink powder. It's like pink cocaine. It says he had what appear to be narcotics found in his hotel last night. Pink powder that have previously tested positive for ecstasy and other drugs. So apparently, I don't know if they're saying it tested positive for ecstasy and other drugs, as if this pink powder consists of ecstasy and other drugs, or are they saying the pink powder consists of ecstasy, but he also had other drugs? I don't know. This is a Heartland detention case. His package is woefully inadequate. It only focuses on flight risk. So yeah, he did ask for ask for bail, and they denied his bail. And of course they did, because like she's saying, it's inadequate. You're only speaking of you being a flight risk, and you're not naming in here that you won't do any drugs, that the drugs won't be around you. You pled not guilty to everything. He did plead guilty during his arraignment, but I don't understand why they wouldn't name that. So this is the defense proposal package to have him out. They're willing to give the courts $50 million, a $50 million bond, co-signed by his mother. I can't remember his mom's name. His oldest sister and 3 adult sons. sons, which is, Quincy, Justin, and the twin to him, secured by the equity of Mr. Combs' residence located at 2 West Star Island in Miami, Florida. The appraised value of the home is about $48 million. The home is unencumbered. Jay said, what did you say, unencumbered?
Unencumbered. Read the sentence, what happened?
The home is unencumbered.
Oh, meaning he doesn't owe anything on the home. He paid it off. And
which he did. In anticipation of his bail hearing on August 20th, 2024, Mr. Combs paid off the remaining mortgage of about $18 million so that the home could be used to secure a bond and be free of a mortgage. Secured by the equity of Mr. Combs' mother's home located at 450 Alton Road in Miami, Florida. Mr. Cole's travel will be restricted, blah, blah, blah. You guys can see that he's trying to say he's going to restrict it to New York, New Jersey, Florida, the southern district of Florida, southern district of New York, as well as the eastern district of New York and the eastern district of New Jersey, and blah, blah, blah. Mr. Combs surrendered his passport April 1st of 2024. So when you got money like this, then you know when something is coming down the drains. You already know when an indictment is coming. These people be knowing already. A lot of them do know already. Now, they think they're going to get off until they're found guilty. Then they go crazy. But a lot of times they don't kill themselves and shit. They don't run away and shit because they think that, everything. Look at Russell Simmons. Russell Simmons, he knew something was coming down the drain. He went to a country where they cannot indict him. And he hasn't been back to America. And he doesn't plan on coming back to America. He's going to stay right there in India, wherever he is, and be rich and have all of his American money be transferred to him because that's what's happening. Exactly. Diddy probably would have done the same thing. Knowing Diddy, he probably would have done the same thing. They probably would have had a high speed plane chase, chasing him, trying to get that damn plane down.
What was that show? I'm sorry. What was that show that we watched?
Which
was
one?
it Cruise Ship Killers or something? And that man ended up getting on a boat, and they still never found him from killing somebody.
Oh, it probably was.
You don't think Diddy got enough money to do no shit like that?
Yeah, I do.
His ass gonna be gone. He don't give a damn about his kids. They won't be leaving the United States.
Yeah, they surrendered every child, even the 1-year-old. Love, as you can see at the bottom, Love Combs, Delilah Combs, Jesse Combs, Chance Combs, and Janice Combs. Those are all of his daughters and his mother. They surrendered their passports, but the sons did not. So they would have been the main one right over there with him.
Exactly.
Gone. Leave his daughters right here. He was crazy. Anyway, Diddy is smart. I wouldn't have been surprised if he would have ran though. Seriously, with his sons, they would have legally had a passport. He would have just got the fuck on his jet. But he turned over his jet. From my understanding, he turned over his jet. Anyway, yeah, they gave up their passports. Neighborhood Talk reported that his children, as if it was all of them, and put all of their pictures, but in fact it was just the 4 girls and his mom who gave up their passports. So he would have gave mama one last kiss and would have hoped and prayed that these 4 girls would have gotten their passport back some way, somehow, eventually in the future. He don't give a damn. Anyway, so yeah, the judge refused to grant bail to Diddy. Must remain behind bars until his sex trafficking trial. They don't have a trial date yet. The judge is quoted to have said, "In this case, I find the presumption has not been rebutted, so Sean Combs will be detained." Yeah, they detained his ass. I've been saying this, y'all. I said, watch and see. A fucking indictment is coming down the pipes. Okay. So I thought it was gonna be for him shooting, the whole Keefe D thing, but like I said, that's not that. I don't know if they can trust Keefe D that much, his words. So I think they taking it slow on that, but they are gonna get him for I think that is Cassie's. I think Cassie's lawsuit played a big part in this whole thing. I think they read everything she said, and she might have been cooperating. Also, don't forget, Justin's mom was upset not too long ago, going off. You ain't gonna do my son like this. My son. Remember that? She was like, you ain't gonna do my son. La la la. And then Justin and Diddy ended up getting back cool, but then Diddy ended up going through this bullshit. So I wouldn't be surprised if Justin's mom did all this, because I remember there was a time she was going the fuck in about her son, because she was saying, you're not gonna do my son like this. Let me play this clip. Maybe I can find it. Let's see.
They've been talking to, it's been reports that Cassie has been cooperating with the federal case. And all of this is over a matter of 7 or 8 months.
Yeah, racketeering and sex trafficking. If he gets racketeering and sex trafficking for freak offs, it will be others involved.
Yes.
Like if you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that, that's possibly on those cameras, because he had cameras in the crib. So people are thinking that maybe there'll be other people involved.
If you ever been butt naked anywhere with Diddy, or half butt naked with Diddy, and there was some women around or some men around that he told you were part of the party, you're probably going to jail.
So this is NBA Youngboy and his girlfriend, and then Diddy and Cassie. So this right here, the first video you're watching, is NBA Youngboy fighting his girlfriend in a hotel. I forget what year they said this was, but I put these two videos together when Cassie's video came out, because I found this video and I just thought it was a great comparison. But you know what the difference is? Diddy has racketeering, sex trafficking. Diddy has like some mob type behavior shit. This is probably a normal DV, but let's not forget, NBA Youngboy is in jail right now for federal crimes as well, pharmaceutical shit, if I'm not mistaken. So they were watching his ass too, but I wouldn't be surprised if he has some issues like this. There's Diddy and there's Cassie going down the elevator, and he just punched her in the head along with snatching her hair. Punched her in the head, snatched her hair, kicked her again. Jesus Christ. That's a big man. And now he's snatching her to the room like a kid. This feels like this pissed somebody the fuck off at the DA's office, and they handled some business. That's what it seems like. That's what it's given. And I'm not saying it's not right at all. Okay, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, and it's not a but, I'm saying that if this is only about Cassie and they done made this big, like, with Bill Cosby and Donald Trump, women was coming out the woodwork. There's not been women coming out the woodwork with him. There's like a handful of women, just like Usher shit, and it was over with. I don't know. Maybe they will. Maybe women will start coming out of nowhere. Dawn did not say in her lawsuit that she was abused. She was, if I'm not mistaken, she witnessed it. She witnessed it and it traumatized her, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think she said she was abused personally. But again, there's video of Dawn, if you go watch my last episode, saying that she was not abused, Dawn Richards. They also say that, after Dawn came out and said what she said, Kalina put out a post, big mouth, literally big mouth. Her mouth is big. She put out a post, I guess kind of against her, saying, that's her account of things. It's not how it went down when I was there, so I don't know what that bitch talking about. I was like, damn, that was kind of fucked up, but. Oh yeah, she was on Love and Hip Hop. Damn, I forgot about that. Maybe y'all. I know, Jesus, my phone. Fuck that shit.
We don't need to buy no more right now.
We don't. I thought I was gonna be able to find what she said, because I literally just had the video. Don't you get it stuck? Oh, you doing that to me? I exhaust you. Okay. All right, I can't find it. Fuck that shit. Yeah. So if you look at my last episode or the episode before that, I talked about Dawn filing her lawsuit and what she said. She really wasn't. She was saying that, you know, she didn't witness shit happen and nothing didn't happen to her. Basically, stay in your own lane and nothing won't happen. I don't know. I just think Dawn is just a money grab. I do. I think Dawn is just trying. Dawn said, 100 million? Bitch, I'm broke. Let me go sue his ass. I'm hurt. I'm down and out. Yeah, I don't bit more believe Dawn. I don't. I think that she did witness the stuff. I don't think she didn't witness it, but I don't think it was traumatizing and all that shit. Like, no, I don't think it was everything she's making it. I don't. Anyway, yeah, he had the pink powder. We read the lawsuit. We see his kids gave up all their shit. The judge said that they're denying his bail. But before we move on to what the fuck his attorney said, I can't believe this motherfucker said this shit. Let's see. Somebody, what?
Talking about a partial lunar eclipse. Girl, honey, baby. The last time y'all had me standing my ass outside looking up at the sky, I ain't see shit.
All right. Okay, so let's not forget, like I said, speaking of karma, before I get into what his attorney said, speaking of karma, let's not forget that Diddy did this. Shot that lady in the face.
I was facing them.
It's really right after the shooting.
And belonged to all of his victims.
Yeah, and you have said since really right after the shooting that it was P. Diddy who shot you. I mean, I think you even said it to the doctor that night, right?
I said it immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, you know, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account. By the grace of God, I survived.
Yeah, and this was also a different time. I mean, things were very, very different in 1999. I mean, did you sense right from the beginning that no one believed you?
Well, I don't think that was on my mind. I think first and foremost, I'm a mother. I'm a mother of 3. At the time, I was a mother of 2. And just surviving and getting home to my children was of the utmost importance to me. Being whole and being able to mother them. That was, you know, primary on my list. I didn't have any reason to believe that to think that someone would not believe me. But as things are...
Okay, so I'm skipping all over the place. That's the woman that Diddy allegedly shot. See if you can find me an old article about that. If you can't, it's fine. Jay can't find me an old article, then y'all, you don't know what I'm talking about. Go Google it. Diddy shot a girl, this woman right here, in the face, allegedly. But what was that? But never went to jail about it. Okay, who went to jail was another guy named, what was his name? Shine. Now I don't know old New York hip hop and all that stuff like that. Like, I know a few people, not everybody. So Shine Shine to this computer right here. Shine actually spent time in jail. You were supposed to screenshot it. Oh, no. Actually, no. Leave it like this, actually. Let's see. I'll share that, actually. Okay. So this is Shine. Shine was a rapper back in the day. Could you go get me an old picture of Shine, please? SHYE. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know if Jay know hip hop. I'll just talk a shit. Jay do know. Jay is definitely very intelligent. Yes.
Wounds.
Yeah, like when he first, like him being a rapper back in the day.
The victim saying that it was Diddy that shot her. That is what is the most remarkable.
The victim
you didn't
said
see
it
that?
was Diddy that shot her.
And that was triggered by a lawsuit from a producer that produced on the Love album, who is making accusations, and in those accusations he says that the gentleman confessed to the shooting. And that is what stands out to me the most, because I've done my best to put it behind me and to move forward. But it certainly reopens the wounds that I've been saying this all along. Everyone knew all along that I was the fall guy.
That's Shine.
But my political enemies and detractors tried to make me into this criminal. But everyone knew that I was a young kid that took the fall. Everyone knew that was the story. I'm just saying that I maintained my innocence all this time. I said I was defending myself. I didn't get into who did what. But the victim is telling you who did what. And I understand that there are other witnesses.
Is she accurate, sir?
I'm not going to get into that. But it does open wounds, and certainly
sat in jail and rotted there.
That people are saying what the truth is.
Brother.
That I did not shoot those people. I maintain that I never shoot nobody. That there were other guns there. I always said that. That has not changed. And that is the testimony that came out. Fragments were never removed.
And they say that
so
his
there was
accent
never
is
any
fake.
forensic testing to
Everybody
say
says
who
that
it was.
This accent is a
the
front.
victims
He got out of prison using this accent.
Witnesses are vindicating me.
He's from
but
New York
I have
City.
moved on. I'm not trying to relive
if you go listen to how he used to talk, I think he's acted in a few
appreciative of
things
whatever
too.
contributions
If I'm not mistaken, he's
Diddy
acted
has
in a few
made
things.
To help
But
the people
he
of
doesn't
Belize.
talk this way.
I wish him
He's
well.
now
I pray for him. And I pray for the
ambassador.
alleged victims. And if it is
shut up.
true, may justices are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to are vindicating me. Witnesses are vindicating me. But I have moved on. I'm not trying to relive that. And so I am appreciative of whatever contributions Diddy has made to help the people of Belize. I wish him well. I pray for him, and I pray for the alleged victims. And if it is true, may justice be served. If it is not, it's a tragedy, because a global icon would have been destroyed.
Global icon would have been destroyed, and he still kind of take the blame a little bit. He shouldn't take the blame for that, because he didn't do it, from what this lady say. Like she said, for God's sake, I was shot in the face, in the nose. How do you
all
think?
Parties involved. I think in our society, we pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved. I think in our society, we have respectability politics. There are people who want to be adjacent to power or celebrity or money, and there's a hierarchy of respectability. Because his name was more notable, he was believed rather than a victim who gave a first-hand account. By the grace of God, I survived.
That's unfortunate. That's real unfortunate. You put the blunt up? Oh no. Yeah, this is a sad video right here. Anyway, let me move on from that and see show you guys what the attorney said. But I was just saying, like, this could be Diddy karma. I hate to say this could be his karma, but it could be. I mean, Sean done went to jail, and there's other things Diddy has done that people would say, that would make people say, okay, this might be karma for that ass. Let me show you. First of all, let me show you before I get into what the attorney said, which you guys probably already seen. I'm just recapping shit. Here is the boys leaving. It's Quincy, Justin, Quincy in the front, Justin right here with black, and his other son over there with the black and the white stripe down the side of his arm and his pants right here. His twin. And let me just tell you something about that one. I honestly think that he probably is going to have, no, cut it on, that's fine, just cut it on. I honestly think that he's going to have an indictment coming down the line. I do. I think that King Combs, his youngest son, is going to be indicted. I do. I think that boy, I know he young as hell, but recently his girlfriend sued him or accused him of sexually assaulting her or locking her in a room or something like that. Am I mistaken? Did he not accuse? Did they not? Was he not accused of locking his girlfriend in a room recently, allegedly? Right. Yeah, I can't find the other video of them leaving out of the courtroom, but I do have this video. This is what he said outside the courtroom.
Since the search is in March, he to his great credit, he voluntarily came to New York. Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case, and it'll start today. And he's going to plead not guilty, obviously. He's going to fight this with all of his energy and all of his might and the full confidence of his lawyers. And I expect a long battle with a good result for Mr. Combs.
Do you think he'll be released?
I'm going to fight like hell to get him released, and he should be released with all that he's done and coming here voluntarily. And guys, I'm going to cut it short because I have to go in. All right? So thank you all very much. And certainly it's not planned by us. I mean, he came here to surrender at a time agreeable to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and then they arrested him last night. I spent the evening with him. I was with him till about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. And he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. We know what the charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be sex trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting. No, it's not.
Yeah. So basically, his charges were released finally. His attorney explained there that he already knew what it was going to be. Damn, I keep burping, right? I don't need to drink soda and get on here. But yeah, I don't know. They sound like some real hard charges. I don't know if they gonna stick, y'all. I don't know. Diddy paranoid as fuck. He's scary as fuck. Anyway, I think he one of those pimps where he got the hard voice, and then when you finally get up there to the laboratory and turn the chair around, he a little midget talking into a big mic. Oh, I'm sorry. Please don't kill me. Yeah, motherfucker. You know, puny ass. That's what Diddy give me. But should give me, you spin the chair around. You ain't got to spin the chair around. Fuck that. He gonna be sitting in that bitch smoking a cigar like, Bitch, I will kill you if you walk in here. Suge is a real, like, the man just rolled over somebody, roll back. Like, bitch, I'm finna flatten you out. I'm tired of this shit. He already put Vanilla Ice over a balcony. You remember Wendy talked about that with Vanilla Ice? He was a dangerous man. Anyway, here's what the ladies of The View had to say.
Arrest was last night. His charging documents were unsealed right before we went on air, and they include sex trafficking, transporting to engage in prostitution, racketeering, conspiracy. His attorney says he will not plead guilty to all of them, but were you surprised at how extensive and disturbing the charges were, or did it feel par for the course given everything else that he's been accused of?
Par for the course given what lifestyle he lives. Go on and say it, Whoopi. You know what you wanted to say.
To everything. And Rico cases or racketeering cases are not that common, but racketeering convictions are very common in the federal government. Federal prosecutors generally don't lose these kinds of cases. And this was more disturbing to me. It's only 14 pages, but within the 14 pages, it describes mob-like behavior. These cases are generally brought against mobs. So they are describing a criminal enterprise that involved trafficking of underage people across state lines to have sex, and they dubbed them freak-offs. They raided his homes and found 1,000 vials of lubricant.
Yep, and
they raided his homes and they found narcotics.
But that's not, the lubricant is not.
It ain't a crime, guys.
It ain't a crime.
It's not a crime, but
it can be used as evidence.
that's some crazy shit.
Because they also have, they were calling these
Somebody said, wait.
orgies, basically. That
Somebody said, not gonna lie. There was definitely a baby oil shortage. That shit was hard to come by. Now we motherfucking know. Okay, damn. Let me stock up now. Why? Somebody said, let me stock up now while he locked up. I will never look at a baby oil bottle the same way again. Remember when Diddy said, you was more than my girl? We was like brothers. All night we would play fight under covers. I know baby oil. Hate to see him coming. Somebody said, the foreign dog. Hopefully he doesn't face that same shortage in his cell where he'll need it the most. Okay, Diddy, he'll definitely be able to play with some booty hole up in now, cause Twitter be showing it all. Okay. Yes, they are.
Yep, and they raided his homes and they found narcotics. Raided his homes and found 1,000 vials of lubricant.
Yep, and
they raided his homes and they
I ain't hear
found
what Sarah said.
narcotics.
But that's not, the lubricant is not.
It ain't a crime, guys.
It ain't a crime.
But it is evidence, it can be used as evidence of a freak-off. Because they also have, they were calling these orgies, basically, that he orchestrated as a criminal enterprise with underage girls and
in some
commercials, and some of age, and commercial sex workers.
Underage girls,
traveled
you said?
across
Oh,
state
Lord.
lines, which is criminal, illegally. And he had guns, he had AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, taped phone calls.
If King Combs don't go to jail, his ass gonna be sued hard.
A max of 20 years to life.
Will they indicate other? Will they indicate other people? Because what you hear in this is there's a lot of people that go in this operation that need to go down as well.
This is just the very beginning, as far as I can tell.
And I just want to mention Cassie Ventura, who bravely came forward with a civil suit, who laid out the egregious, horrible things he did to her. We all saw the video. I could barely watch it of him attacking her. They settled out of court, but by putting that out there, it helped other victims come forward. And because of it, the government was able to come, because we all saw the raid and we're like, why did it take so long to arrest him? I think they've been spending months to build the strongest case against him, and proud of Cassie for coming forward.
I don't even know that it's, you're absolutely right. I don't even know if it's months. I mean, this behavior goes back to 2008. And so
I just meant since the raid to the indictment.
So this is a criminal enterprise allegedly that's been going on since 2008.
Well, he's going to court. He's going to court, and now
I don't even know
have
if this
to-
is a triable case. If I were advising someone looking at something like this is a case that you plead guilty to, and you take your chances with
Take a plea?
with the judge. Yeah, you take a plea in a case like this.
We'll see. It's not over. This is just the beginning.
Wow. So this is victim of infamous New York City club shooting, insists Sean Diddy Combs shot her in the face decades ago, willing to have bullet fragments tested. She says she willing to have the bullet fragments tested. This is her in 1999 in the hospital. She's now 53 years old. December of 99. This is her in the hospital. Yeah. Wow. Ruben has insisted for years he unfairly took the fall for Combs. And I wouldn't be surprised if J-Lo get locked up too, because she knew a lot of shit was happening way back then. And I wouldn't be surprised if she a part of the damn Rico case. I would not be surprised. She was with him from 99 to 2001. They were dating. So I think they did. And also she was there at the party when he shot the gun. And all of them might have lied for him. I don't know. Jennifer should have said no if she didn't. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. So back to my shit. Oh shit, I didn't even show the shit. Did I show the shit? Did I show the shit? Did I show y'all? I'm like, here she is right here. And I probably didn't even show the damn I probably didn't even show the damn thing. Did I show the shit? Let's see. Right here. Share. Oh, right here. Okay. No, I didn't share it. Here it is. So this is J-Lo and Diddy, like I was saying. Here's her in the hospital in 99. December of 99. This is her in the hospital. Okay, and this is her now. It's her now, and this is her in the hospital. Okay, this is her right here. Her right here. No, it's not. Anyway, yeah. So they dated for that long. Oh, this is her again. Ooh, with her nose taped up. Ruben says she witnessed Combs take out the gun. Where did it say Ruben? Ruben has long maintained, insisted Diddy shot her. Okay, I gotta find out where that was. Anyway, 8th Avenue. Wow, stopped by cop. Oh yeah, Diddy and Lopez also fled the club in a Lincoln Navigator, but were stopped by the police on 8th Avenue and arrested. Lopez was released after 14 hours, but was never charged in that case. Ooh, bitch. Ooh, if they go back and get Jennifer ass, it's over with, bitch. Ooh, it's gonna be over with for her big time. It's gonna be over with. Anyway, yeah, so that happened. And Diddy's lawyer says Cassie hit Diddy in the head with a cell phone prior to the attack in the hotel hallway. Claims that she had been cheating on Diddy for years with her current husband. And that man is fine as hell. Her current husband is fine as hell, okay? Okay, her current husband is fine as hell. Okay, it says delivery. Authorities claim they seized freak-off supplies from Diddy's houses during previous raids. More than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. We talked about that already. In or about March 2024, during search of Combs' residence, Florida, Los Angeles, California, Law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil. They said he was giving people narcotics and pills and shit like that. Anyway, yeah, they found the guns in his house and all of that. But yeah, I can't believe that the attorney felt the need to say that this girl hit him in the head with a cell phone. Are you fucking kidding me? He had enough time to calm down and think about that. He was that angry. Like, I feel like, yes, there's a such thing as a quick reflex, but come on now. That you had time to run out, hit her, and then hit her more. Like, there is a such thing as a quick reflex, but at some point you realize that you're hurting someone weaker than you. Like, I don't know. That's just how my mind is set up. I don't know. I don't understand why he would even use that and say, oh, she hit him in the head with a cell phone and she deserved to get the shit beat out of her like that. No, minutes later, she's down the hall with her stuff, a jacket on, pressing an elevator. So, like, this had to be at least a minute or two later. No, your ass was in the shower because you butt ass naked, and she got the fuck on while your ass was naked and in the shower, or just got out the shower or something. That's what I think. She's fully clothed. He's naked. She was trying to get the fuck away. But she stayed a long time after that. Anyway, yeah. Let's see if I have another video slide for that. Let's see this one right here. Yeah, so judge. Let's see this video here.
With that breaking news here at 6 today, a judge orders Sean Diddy Combs held without bail. He pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges following a bombshell indictment today. Alice Gaynor covers courts and joins us now live from Lower Manhattan with all the new details. Alice.
Christine, Sean Diddy Combs himself entered the not guilty plea. He walked into the courtroom with a very serious expression. He scanned the room. He had about 12 family members and friends there to support him. Otherwise, the room was basically attorneys and members of the press. The two sides essentially litigated the case when they were making the argument for bail or no bail. Prosecutors say he's a flight risk. He's an extreme danger to the community. He's a serial abuser, they say, and a serial obstructor. His attorney argued that he had earned the trust of the court and of the judge, because he flew to New York in anticipation of being arrested and wanted to turn himself in. They also mentioned that he's in the process of trying to sell his plane. He handed over his passports to his attorneys, but the judge ruled he be held without bail. Sean Diddy Combs is accused of creating a criminal enterprise, of using employees, resources, and influence to allegedly carry out crimes including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. That employees like security staff, household staff, personal assistants, and high-ranking supervisors allegedly helped facilitate and cover up his abuse and sex escapades, never intervening. Other arrests could be coming.
I'm not taking anything off the table.
The previously reported March 2016 Los Angeles hotel video showing Diddy attacking then-girlfriend singer Cassie was referenced in the indictment.
A member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet.
The indictment alleges Diddy abused people for decades, verbally, emotionally, physically, and sexually. He's accused of manipulating women to participate in highly orchestrated performances of sexual activity with male commercial sex workers. These elaborate sex performances were referred to as freak-offs, which Combs is accused of arranging, directing, and recording.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics.
He's accused of sometimes giving people drugs like cocaine, oxycodone, and ketamine, to name a few, controlling their careers, using money and threats allegedly to get what he wanted. During these so-called freak-offs and at other times, it's alleged he hit, kicked, and threw objects at and dragged victims. Some injuries took days or weeks to heal, and he allegedly used the recordings of them as collateral. In March 2024, during searches of his Miami and LA homes, law enforcement seized drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, guns, ammo, and 3 AR-15s with the serial numbers defaced. His attorney says they are not his guns.
Mr. Combs is a fighter. He's going to fight this to the end. He's innocent. We're appealing the decision to hold him without bail.
Combs faces a minimum of 15 years behind bars, up to life in prison if convicted on these 3 felony counts. His attorney says he is fighting the no bail ruling today. There is a bail appeal hearing scheduled for tomorrow, Christine.
All right, some shocking allegations there, Alice. Thank you for that update. Diddy's legal troubles first picked up steam last year. He has faced a number of lawsuits since then, filed by an unnamed music producer to former college student Joy Dickerson, and most recently, one of the singers from the band Danity Kane, Dawn Richard. Now, the first lawsuit came in November of 2023 from Diddy's ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie, alleging years of abuse and
he
rape.
probably already had
The two
lawsuits that we
parties
never heard
settled the
about.
next day. And then in March, federal agents raided his homes in Miami and LA. In May, video surfaced showing Combs attacking Cassie in an LA hotel in 2016. He publicly apologized days later. In June, Combs returned his key to the city at the request of Mayor Adams. All of this now leading up to his arrest yesterday. Do stay with CBS News New York. We brought you the news conference live when that indictment was unsealed earlier today, and you can read the entire document on cbsnewyork.com.
This is what he did at the Met Gala, if you guys remember. We posted this when the Cassie video came out back in May.
What a beautiful dress you look.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I wanted to ask you.
Can't wait. He gave her a real
What a beautiful dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you. Can't wait to see 3 a.m.
Pulled her closer.
The controversy.
Yeah.
How can we get a tape of this?
I'm going to send it to you. I will email it to you.
Email me the whole thing.
Yes,
I love
yes,
it.
yes.
I love that you're constantly crushing the glass ceiling, or crushing the black ceiling.
Yes.
You're one of the first. One of the first.
You know, I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my.
What a beautiful dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you.
His face.
What a beautiful
gave
dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you.
What was that
beautiful
about?
dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you. Can't wait to see 3 a.m.
Yes.
The controversy.
Yeah.
How can we get a tape of this?
I'm going to send it to you. I will email it to you.
Email me the whole thing.
Yes,
I love
yes,
it. I love that you're constantly crushing the glass ceiling, or crushing the black ceiling.
Yes.
You're one of the first. One of the first.
You know, I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my.
They screaming motherfuckers' names back there. Anyway, yeah, so. All right, I'm trying to take Cassie away from Diddy. You're right, Jay talking about maybe Nicki Minaj was trying to say she want to save Cassie. That's true. Maybe she was saying that, because she did say plotting on how I can take Cassie away from Diddy. Be my little freak. Be my little freak. Ain't that on Little Freak? Who's that? Little Freak is Usher? Usher, right. She did say that, plotting on how she can take Cassie away from Diddy. Anyway, I think those were all of my clips. I want you guys to stay right here until the end, okay? I'm about to play everything I've said about Diddy, okay? How I have clearly, okay, said this man was going to get indicted. Y'all got to watch me more. Make sure you follow me. I'm Rico Bellucci. Make sure you follow me at The Urban Bench on Facebook. That's 2 E's. As you can see it scrolling down at the bottom. And 1 E everywhere else. At The Urban Bench. At The Urban Bench on Facebook. The Urban Bench on Facebook. And I thank you guys so much for tuning in all the time. All the time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you share this video. Hopefully I play some clips that were like, hold up, I ain't know that happened. Yeah.
What a beautiful dress you look.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask
did this to this woman. Beat her up this badly. Beat her up badly. Look how he doing her. Look how he doing her. And drug her down the hallway.
Can't wait to see 3 a.m.
Yes.
The controversy.
Yeah.
How can we get a take?
You think she ain't get her settlement money and then sit up here and tell on his ass?
I love it. I
Still
love that
fuck him up. She fucked
crushing
him
the
up
glass ceiling.
bad.
Crushing the black
She heard that apology
ceiling.
and said,
You're one of the
you ain't
first.
sorry.
One of the first.
And I'm blessed to be in this industry.
Yes, and you're
I
blessed.
just try to blend it with my own.
This is
Morning,
the
everyone.
press conference today.
My name is Damian Williams, and I'm the U.S. Attorney here in the Southern District of New York. Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
Freak-off.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with Rico conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs' crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. Now, I want to be clear about 2 things. First, this office is determined to investigate and prosecute anyone who engages in sex trafficking, no matter how powerful or wealthy or famous you may be. No one should doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SCNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SCNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleeper and Jacqueline Kelly. They are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Aaron Katursky, ABC.
Thanks, Nick. Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs, and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done. Next question.
Thank you. Julia Ainsley, NBC.
Thank you for doing this. You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
Janet Fisher, Newsday.
What's the difference between the sex trafficking and promoting travel for the purpose of prostitution?
Well, there are different crimes with different elements. I don't think we should get into the nitty-gritty of the legal discussion right now, but the sex trafficking, we believe, they're all serious offenses, but the sex trafficking conduct carries some significant penalties, and we are gratified that we were able to bring that charge.
Is one more coercive than the other?
I'm not going to be able to get into that, but you can look it up, and yes, sex trafficking, especially when it involves coercion or force, is a very serious crime, and it carries significant penalties.
Good afternoon, Darla Miles, ABC 7 New York. Thank you for this press conference and for the details. 2 questions. In context of this indictment and the information that was presented to the grand jury, are you able to clarify the number of victims? It's mentioned plural in the indictment, but can you specify the number of victims just for this particular indictment? And secondly, can you provide details about the alleged arson?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to provide either. The number of victims, you are correct. We are intentional in saying multiple. The details of the arson incident are limited to what we have in the indictment and also the detention letter that we filed, which contains more details than the indictment does at various points, but we don't have anything more beyond that. Next question.
Lynn Tran, CNN.
Are any of his accomplices or associates under investigation? And additionally, could he face any more charges?
So the investigation is ongoing. That means both as to him and to anyone else who we believe committed the crime with him. Next question.
Juliet Papa.
Hi, good morning from 1010 Wins.
I don't think he has any. I don't think he has any witnesses. I don't know. This is why I don't think it's gonna stick. Like, how many witnesses do you have? You done put a number out here for people to call in for tips and do it quickly, as if you want to, you know, they're going to elongate the court date. You're going to be able to interview a whole bunch of people, figure out whose story sounds credible, who has some proof of something or anything, and then use it in your case. That's what it seems like. Maybe not. I don't know. But I don't know. It just, you got Diddy in New York City where he's from, and the jury is going to be full of people who grew up listening to Diddy, I'm sure. Residents of New York and a lot of black people. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of black people. Probably not. Probably a bunch of white people, but it's a lot of different people up here in New York. It's like a lot of different nationalities here. So it would be shocking if the jury is full of white people. Regardless, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Maybe they'll all stick, but I don't know. I just don't know. This doesn't give R. Kelly. This doesn't give Bill Cosby. Okay, wait. Here I come. Anyway, let me finish playing what he said.
Victims here were imprisoned in his residences, and did he have locations where he kept them, and were not allowed to leave? And also, he's indicted here, although there were searches and raids in LA, Miami. Why in New York?
Well, I'm biased. I'm the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York. I think that we have an outstanding track record of bringing some of the most impactful, sprawling, complex, difficult sex trafficking, human trafficking, labor trafficking, you name it. The Southern District of New York can do it, and so we're very proud of that. And so the scope and complexity of this investigation isn't something that we ran from, it's something that we embrace, and we will continue to do that. As to your question about whether he imprisoned anyone, all I can say is that, I mentioned this March 2016 incident where something was caught on video, where a victim was attempting to flee, and there was violence that was associated with it.
Was that at the residence or a hotel?
That was at a hotel.
Matthew Lee, Inner City Press.
Thanks a lot. Does your office intend to seek remand, or are you reaching a bail package? And if you're willing, how would you contrast this with the R. Kelly case in EDNY in terms of the elements? Thanks.
So we will be seeking detention. We have filed a letter laying out our reasoning for seeking pretrial detention. I'm not going to be able to expand beyond what's in the letter, but it contains all of the reasoning, and it contains the law as well. There is a presumption of detention in a case like this, and we think that's warranted.
John Anise, New York Daily News.
Thank you. I was hoping to get some more detail about the searches of his residence, the guns, the cases of lubricant, and the videos. Where were they found amongst his residence? Were they all scattered around the houses in one place? I kind of wanted to just get a better picture of how that stuff was found.
Well, look, I think that some of the details that you're seeking are in the detention letter. So, for instance, some of the AR-15s, 2 of the 3 defaced AR-15s were found in his bedroom closet in Miami, broken down into parts along with magazines with ammunition loaded in them. So some of that detail is in the detention letter. Beyond that, I'm not going to be able to get into where other items were stored.
Ben Kochman, Post.
Hey, thanks for doing this. Your office was the office that had been prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein before he died in custody. I have not read your detention memo yet. It's the first thing I'm going to do after this ends. But does the memo address, or is your office concerned with Combs' safety in custody, given what happened with Epstein?
So we are concerned with anyone's safety whenever they are detained prior to trial. It's part of our obligations to keep people safe as well. It's part of the criminal justice system. So, but I do not draw any sort of connection between Jeffrey Epstein's suicide and what may or may not happen to any other defendant while they are detained pre-trial. And of course, the decision whether to detain the defendant will be up to a judge. Our position is that pretrial detention is warranted under the law and based on the facts of this case, and I'll leave it at that.
Are some of the prosecutors on this case some of the same prosecutors that had been handling that, or that worked on the Maxwell case?
So I'm not going to get into the staffing. I will say that this team, this group of AUSAs, this incredible group has been working on this case around the clock, and they've had their hands full. Next question.
Gus Rosendale, NBC News.
Good morning, sir. Combs' attorney said that his client has been cooperative with investigators. He said that this morning. I was wondering if you would have a reaction to that.
Let me just say this. I think that generally with increasing frequency, the word cooperative or cooperating has taken on tremendous elasticity, and it no longer really bears any relation to what the word means when we use it in a very specific context. So responding to lawful process and the like does not qualify as cooperation when we use that term here.
Mike Sisak, AP.
Thanks. To that end, was there any discussion of Mr. Combs surrendering? I understand he was taken into custody at a hotel in Manhattan last night, and maybe that wasn't the plan. Can you elaborate on how that came about and why that was?
I'm not going to be able to get into any sort of operational details as to how he was taken into custody and when. He is in custody right now. He will be appearing in court later today.
Was there any discussion of him surrendering, given they claim he's cooperating?
I'm not going to be able to get into law enforcement tactics or operations. Well, I can't get into the charging decision. It is very meaningful to us that weapons were possessed. as we allege in the indictment. Part of the reason why this conduct was so pervasive and harmful was because victims and others didn't necessarily feel comfortable denying him his wishes, as we allege, because of the presence of firearms. I should leave it there.
Thanks. Last question, Jacob Shamison.
Jacob Shamsian, Business Insider. Thank you. Given that he's the sole defendant in this case and that you allege he's part of a conspiracy that involves members of his companies, do you anticipate a superseding indictment that bring allegations against other members of his companies or other co-conspirators as well?
Again, I can't take anything off the table. Anything is possible. Our investigation is very active and ongoing. And I think a lot of you who cover this office know that when we say such things, that developments are certainly foreseeable, but I cannot predict them sitting here today. All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to play all of my commentary. Make sure you guys follow me, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. See you guys then. I think I got everything. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be here tomorrow. Shit, I don't know.